Good morning. It is just after 9:15, about 9:20 on the 4th of April, 2019. This is E from MarketWizards.com and eMiniWizard.com, reminding traders to use risk capital that we can afford to lose. We give meaning to the markets by the way we analyze them. And today we're going to take a look at a few ideas. And one of the things we want to think about is our blind spots, our own bias, and our inability to see things that may or may not be obvious. There is no one right way, in my opinion, to analyze markets. A lot of people love to do it by consensus. And I believe that while something is trending, that probably is true. But as we near ends of a swing, we know that the majority of people are going to be wrong. And that's just the way new trends develop, where the masses will get it wrong, especially at the extremes. So one of the things we're going to look at today will be different charts and chart patterns without anything on them. You know, I've given some advice and some tools that I like to use. But I think you need to start to own this. And by that, I mean, you need to start to see things your way, you know, not just my way, but, you know, what is it that helps you to see patterns and make decisions that can help you be profitable? So for now, the things that are most important, in my opinion, before anything else, is to resolve a range. And for me, that range is obviously the most important range that needs to be resolved before anything else. Why worry about what's down here or up here until we resolve this range? And by extension, obviously the bounce high from this last low becomes the nearer battlefield that we want to look at. And by extension, this nearer battlefield and now this one and now this one. And that is how you can take from the extremes and bring them in much tighter, decide if anything you want to do with where the market is right now at the open. And if this low breaks, then, and the high doesn't, then obviously this range becomes the next, which would be an inside day battle. So we're going to come back and revisit this idea later in the day. But that's the way I try to do it. I try to say, okay, let's shrink the battlefield down to what I call the head of the snake. You've got to be able to deal with where we are right now. Don't throw out there these grandiose ideas about 3,100 and 3,000 and 3,500 that I'm saying. What about right now? What can you do with today? That's more important. Don't tell me we're going to 1,800. What can I do with that information? Absolutely nothing. So does that mean I short and I just wait for 2 years or whatever? You know, if you want to be a trader, you have to be able to sense these little skirmishes and these little battles and take something out of the swings. Anyways, that's I'm going to leave this available today for us to talk about. And let's see how that plays out. Overnight range, we can see that yesterday's core range is 74 and a quarter, and back here just right about where we are now, that's the pipe 40% of the time you spend in that, evidently. And the pipe today is 77 to this 80 area. We had suggested pre-market 72 to 73.5 technically are supportive for the gap at 80. And that trade is played out, but not much more. And sometimes you just don't get opportunity to trade more until we get the open and get big boys coming in. So for now, this is all we know is this range, and we'll see what happens as the day progresses. Again, we are at the gap at 80. I'd suggested yesterday that technically, if you wanted to think of a bigger box, 80 was the middle. So nothing has changed from all those posts last night. Got a quick sell, and everybody is jumping up and down, and then we bounce right back. So I'm still going to think neutral. 75.25 is our angel. 82.25 is our demon. We suggested last night that we probably would need to stall 82s to 85s. 84.75 was yesterday's IB high. So we said shorts really need to stall that and stop this bounce from getting much further if they want to have any posture at all. So nothing has changed from that viewpoint. On the weeklies, I said last night, take a look at your weeklies, because I thought this was a very important frame. Nothing has changed. We still have this 76, 77 area down here that's trying to hold this box. And at the top of that box, we've got 82.75. Let's call it 83. So that was pretty apparent to me before I went to bed last night, and I said, let's watch this one, because we know that the low back here yesterday represents this green circle, and we know the high represents this red circle. So for now, all I can suggest is that because we've had a very small overnight range, it's possible to take out both sides today of the overnight range. And think small, risk two, make two type trading if you're going to trade. RTH yesterday, rain line. Supported. We say let's use this for support. Let's guess that's support. Right now we've come just above this overnight to that 83. And this was the IB high yesterday. So on bounces today, don't think that anything's possible. Think more neutrally. And I believe this whole swing can get tested today. So the question is, where do they throw the head fakes in back and forth? All white bars, no support built up down in here. So we have to rely on the overnight low as support until broken. And I said just under it. So for now, range type trading is all I see that makes sense. It's going to be opening up. Reminder of this importance of the 66, last month's high. So the weekly chart we're using to represent this. And we've got gaps all over the place. And, you know, that's why traders get emotional, because it's unfair. How can you keep doing this? That's their posture. Well, it's done this for a long time. It'll do what it wants to do. Predictive model, we're going to leave right here, just the way we've got it. So in general is 72, 71 area supportive. Back end over here, there's 85, 86 resistance. And obviously the core fighting range right now, 76 to 81. That's the way I see it. Anybody that wants short today, don't think of killer short. Think about hit and run. Don't get caught in the trap of just getting overly bearish. This is starting to roll over. We've got the risk and reward idea up here. And anybody playing the open, there's not a lot of edge for a gap type trade. So conservative traders, you may want to look for a reactionary trade rather than an impulsive trade right here, unless you're a committed trader and you have a belief. I'm not a committed trader. I don't believe there's a huge edge at this open. If you like the short side, stop. We said the aggressive stop zone is going to be 82 to 85. And I think we're going to test both support and resistance. Today's most important support, I believe, is just under the low. That's got to hold that 72 to 74 area. Otherwise, we can take a trip right back down. Play well. Do not overtrade. There's a tough overnight range and a tough open. We're in the pipe. Play well.